What's up? In today's video, I want to actually talk about battle passes, microtransactions, and a couple of other stories that we're covering for Sparking Zero. Some things that I wanted to touch back up on from older videos and stuff like that. So let's just jump right into the video, and I want to welcome you. So first of all, I just want to talk about microtransactions for a little bit because it has been like a kind of worrisome thing surrounding this game, if not only just for the fact that this game is being made by Bandai Namco, and Bandai Namco has been known for recently at least putting stuff in post hoc after release into their games, whether it be microtransactions or battle passes, like Tekken, for example. But not saying that it's a positive thing that it's definitely going to be in. They may be coasting off of like the IP sales alone, especially after the significant sales that we had from Xenoverse 2 and from Fighters. But I'm not exactly sure if they're going to or not. But if they do, this is what it might look like. So I was trying to comb through and see if there was ways they could implement them, play devil's advocate. If I were on the sales team, if I were in the marketing department, if I were in the financial division, what would I do to ensure the company actually makes an ROI, return on investment, gets their money back in full? And what would I actually do to implement that in a way that it would give something to the players to not complain about as well? So trying to go into this, I was thinking about, well, what could they actually monetize? The first thing that popped into my mind, which is probably the most obvious, is the item system. So they have mentioned obviously here that we are going to be having items. I don't know whether that's going to be in the form of capsules or whatever that's going to be, like in similar games, Z items, capsules, whatever, fusion items. But that does open the can of worms open to, in combination with the Zenny that they were talking about. Now, I'm not saying they're going to give microtransactions for individual specific items, but they might give in-game currency for it, and you can buy Z items from the shop and make your character stronger or whatever. Obviously, if you're going to do the Z Fusion or the Patara or the capsules, whatever it is going to look like in this game. We also know that they are going to have that kind of monetization in the game that they talked about in a recent interview, talking about that there's going to be Zenny, that you can actually buy characters within the shop if you didn't feel like playing through the modes in which you naturally unlock them. So now that we know that currency is a thing, we know that items are a thing. So we can put two and two together and say, if these things are in the shop and you want an advantage immediately, what would you do? Well, you just go to the PlayStation Store or Xbox Store, wherever you're gonna go to get your currency, and you can see that maybe 1,000 Zenny is like 10 bucks, like they would do for any other game that has microtransactions for paying for in-game stuff, such as whether it be Fighter Points for Street Fighter or whether it be V-Bucks for Fortnite. You have that in-game currency, which would be Zenny, and you can pay real-world money in order to get that. Now, not most people, I would assume, that just want to play the game and have fun are not going to care about this. They'll unlock stuff naturally, but there are the people out there that are going to be the online hogs that are online all the time, and that's the only thing that they actually want to do in this game, and they might actually be the target audience for this to be able to get an edge up over their opponent, assuming there's going to be different modes based on ranked and non-ranked, where you can actually use the items or not use the items, depending on what leaderboard they want to be trying to testing to get to, or whether they're just trying to get to past a hard stage in the game or whatever. That would be a quick and easy buck for Bandai Namco to attain by saying, hey, you can power your character up automatically if you pay us this real world money to transfer it into these items. And obviously we're going to have the Zenny or whatever in-game currency available in the game to purchase, but they might make it a slog like they do in Street Fighter, where it takes such an ungodly where it takes such a long amount of time in order to do that it would just benefit some people just to pay the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks for whatever pack they would to get however much Zenny that they actually are trying to acquire to get whatever items they're trying to get in the game. So that would be my way that I would think they would implement that, would definitely be for that. The second option would be for accessories. Now we know that you're going to be able to accessorize your heroes in this and villains. You can just actually put different accessories on these characters to make them, I guess, unique or different. I'm assuming it's going to look a little bit in the way that Naruto Storm Connections does it, or Naruto Storm Revolution. I don't think it's going to be something to the extent of Tekken. We might get something on your back, or something on your sides or whatever. I don't think it's gonna be anything too fancy, maybe a halo or no halo, so, stuff like that. But regardless, if you want your character to look as unique as possible, they may have these also in the shop that are also earnable, that you also need the money in order to buy, to purchase, to make your character look unique. So there are options there automatically for the door to be open for them to implement microtransactions via, whether it be in the beginning of the game when at launch, or whether it's down the road. Now, I hope it's neither option. I hope that the Zenny is plentiful and we're just able to earn it from doing normal stuff in the game, which I'm sure we're going to be able to, but I mean, how much of it, like what's the quantity that we're going to be attaining for doing certain things, what's your like hour to zenny ratio, like, you know, are you going to be able to earn like 10,000 zenny in an hour and then be able to convert that into shop to buy the items, or is it going to take like 1,000 and then items are like 10,000, you need to play like a certain mode for like 4 or 5 hours in order to get that one item. That's where I think the problem comes into play when it comes with microtransactions, where they're kind of try to, yes, there's a fork in the road of doing it in the game, or they're doing it via your wallet, but they're trying to force you down this one path of wallet. We all know what microtransactions are. I don't have to actually go into that. I just think those are two of the ways that they can possibly implement that. Another way that I think that they can actually kind of snake their way into implementing this is something that we've seen before, where it comes with like retries or retry coins, or like in Mortal Kombat how they have like fatality coins. Like say you're doing a hard mission and it's multiple battles like you used to do in Tenkaichi 3, for example, where you're not just fighting one opponent, maybe the story is played out throughout that one chapter, but you're going through like 4 or 5 different battles, and one of the battles is extremely hard, or hard for some people, or more difficult for some people, and if you fail that, it's game over and you have to start over from the beginning. Or you can have retry fight coins, where you just like, you know, use microtransactions to have that retry available, so you can actually keep going without the story without having to start over again. That's another quick thought. Again, this is something I hope they don't implement, but like it's something that could be, I don't know if it's probable, but it is possible that they would implement this kind of stuff. It just depends on how money hungry they're actually going to be within the game, and that's yet to be seen until obviously the game launches, if not maybe a month or two after. Tekken, I'm looking at you. And the last option that I want to talk about is we're talking about unlocking characters for Zenny. So obviously, like, if you're playing online and you're accruing Zenny through that way, or you're doing World Tournament mode and getting Zenny that way, it'll probably be easy to unlock the characters if you don't want to play the story mode, or if you don't want to play the bonus battles. When it comes specifically to characters, how much of that, again, are we going to be getting accruing at a time? Like, what's the quantity? So if you want to unlock all the characters right away, but like it's going to take you a ton of time in order to unlock the characters to play them online, and it's not just your main, you want everybody, how much money is that going to cost? How much are you going to have to fork over in order to convert that real world dollar into Zenny to get all of the characters that are in the entire roster? And are you going to be able to do that with DLC, or is DLC specifically going to be money? Because like if you look at Street Fighter 6, for example, all of the DLC that comes out, you can buy it in the in-game store with in-game currency via dive tickets or the fight coins and stuff like that, but those are also available for purchase for real-world money. So it's up to you whether you want to earn them in-game or pay for them up front just to get them out of the way without having to pay for maybe the full price of the DLC. So, which is usually cheaper if you're doing that, honestly, but we don't know like what the character selection is going to look like for that, and there's also a lot of missing characters, not even from the sagas that are discluded. So let's say, for example, what me and Ragaroth were talking about in the last live stream for the last new character trailer. Where are all the great apes, right? Because like we've seen like great ape Vegeta and whatnot, but like in Tenkaichi 3, we had like great ape Fasha, we had great ape King Vegeta, great ape Bardock, great ape Kid Goku, great ape Gohan, or which was like standard great ape. There was a bunch of the different kinds of great apes, and they may be a waste for individual character slots that they may think for this. So is that going to be DLC, or is it going to be implemented via a battle pass? This is also something that me and Ragaroth were talking about, and unfortunately does not come to fruition. This is not what I want to happen. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate for what their minds may be thinking of. So let's say they know that they're not going to get the premium amount of money for paying for them in a pack because they're all pretty similar. Let's say that they implement battle passes. And how you would do battle passes is you have a free version or freemium, or you have a premium version or a paid for version, and they're two different tiers like they do in every other battle pass, whether you're playing Dead by Daylight, whether you're playing Fortnite, whether you're playing like any game that has a battle pass implemented, Street Fighter. They all have these same kind of seasonal freemium and premium tiers, and how it's usually done is like the top tier, which is like premium, is like the more you play, the more rewards you get, but they're very lesser rewards compared to the paid for versions, obviously. So you would be getting like titles, maybe items, stuff like that. But if you want like extra costumes or accessories or characters that aren't in the packs of the DLC, like let's say the Great Apes, those would be in like a battle pass. So if you pay for that version, let's say you get all the battle passes for one season. So it's just like, let's say a 3-month period like Fortnite, one season of a battle pass, and you unlock the different Great Apes throughout the premium tier, but maybe you unlock one of the Great Apes for the freemium tier, which is just like, let's say the base Great Ape, or like Gohan's like Z Great Ape. That's definitely a way I can see them actually implementing the characters that people don't necessarily want to pay for in DLC packs, and they don't want to waste slots for in the actual base roster. I can definitely see them implementing those kind of battle passes in order for you to unlock those characters that way. Or again, they can have them in the battle pass and then like have the option for them showing up in the store, but in the store they're much more expensive than if you paid like the $10 whatever for the 3-month battle pass and unlock them that way. They might have the characters for like $10 each if you're converting it to real world money in the store. So I think these are things that we need to think of and consider, and I'm not saying we should go in there negatively thinking that this is going to be how they implement the things in the game. This is what they're going to do automatically. This is just like speculation 100% on my part, but it's something that I want people to be prepared for, because I wouldn't put it past Bandai Namco to do these kind of things, because like I said in the past, they've proven unreliable when it comes to being like consumer friendly when it comes to their microtransactions and their battle passes and whatnot. So even though it's not a definite thing, I just want people to keep their ears to the wind and make sure that they're like not being taken advantage of as consumers, I guess, in a way. And that's all I wanted to talk about on that. I did want to cover, however, an article that just came out with an interview. This is question number 5, and it says, there are still some unrevealed characters for the game. Is there anything that you can say about that? And the producer replied, we still have many characters to reveal. I also want to address some misinformation regarding the Red Ribbon Army and Tao Pai Pai characters that was shared in an interview by someone not connected to Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and without qualified information about the game. He's just talking about the interview with that marketing department guy. Our focus has been on revealing characters with our fans in mind, featuring them in assets such as trailers, screenshots, and even through hands-on play, and hopefully surprising and exciting them with how their favorites appear and play in the game. Part of the thrill of working on this title has been having an incredible roster and knowing how eager every fan is to see who they can play as. We can promise one thing, fans will know every playable character at launch before the game comes out, so please stay tuned for our initial announcement. So this is basically saying what I said before. If it's not an official like announcement, like something that's made for a trailer or directly stated in like gameplay or shown in gameplay, that does not mean that it is confirmation. It means it's speculation. So we got 25 characters left. I'm going to show the completed grid on screen right here. And as I am saying, like, any rumor that you hear, whether it's OG or whether it's Dragon Ball GT or whether it's movies or anything akin to that, even the Great Apes and stuff like that, Bardock's crew, whoever the mystery character for the prepaid version is going to be, all of this stuff is up in the air. So whether it's I say it or another YouTuber says it or somebody who claims to have any inside information, whether they have inside information or not does not mean that that's an official announcement or confirmation. It's still speculative until the day that that character is actually announced by the company. I don't know why I have to say this all the time. I shouldn't. Like, you guys are smart enough to know that. And I think people are. It just comes to the point where everyone's so excited about this game and they want to see their favorite characters show up. Me as well. Like, I'm a diehard GT fan, so like if it's somebody that comes in from there, like, I'd be super excited. But I'm still just, you know, waiting and trying to be patient and being excited for other aspects of the game. And even if that doesn't show up, and even if my favorites don't show up, I'm still going to try to enjoy the game for as much as I'm supposed to. So here is the poll, and you'll be able to actually see the comments that you said on screen as well. So if you want your comments to be shown in a future video, then please comment on today's poll. I do one once a week, so hopefully we can actually show all your comments. And I actually said, are you worried about microtransactions or other pay-to-win mechanics in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? 28% of people said yes, I'm worried. 43% of people said no, it'll be fine, which is the overwhelming majority. So that means that most people think that it's going to be fine. 18% said possibly, and 11% was my joke answer and said, I love throwing away money. Obviously that was a joke, but some people do love throwing away their money. But that's going to be the video for today, guys. I want to thank you for watching and all the good support that you guys keep showing. Any and all thoughts are always welcome in the comment section down below, or feel free to join the Discord and we can talk about a ton of other stuff or set up games and matches and all kinds of stuff. And as I always say, guys, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.
Ivy Valentine subscribes to Mark Yoon, so should you. Enjoy your treat!